It is the show me game of the Big Ten this weekend. This one being on CBS at 3:30 Eastern. It is Indiana going to Autzen to play the Oregon Ducks. Can Curt Cignetti revenge the embarrassing loss to Ohio State? Although with this one being Oregon, but it was the one time that Indiana had to be in the spotlight, and they got creamed. Can Indiana avenge that embarrassment from 1 year ago? I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football, racing, news, and true crime. Without further ado, let's dive into this little shindig, shall we? As I mentioned earlier, last time we saw Indiana on a very big stage against a big-time, big brand. Now, they did play Notre Dame, and, well, they had a pretty decently close game with Notre Dame. But the big one that everybody saw was against Ohio State. It was against the Buckeyes. Indiana got rocked. And that's got to be in the back of their minds. That was on the road. This one is on the road as well. But this is year 2 of Curt Cignetti. Now, granted, trying to build Rome from ashes isn't going to happen in a year and a half. But oh my goodness, is Cignetti trying. What he has done for Indiana in this program is the greatest rebuilding job that I have ever seen in my entire life. Outside of Jim Harbaugh building Stanford up to be a football powerhouse while he was there. I only give the edge to Jim Harbaugh on that because of the academics that were involved with Stanford. But other than that, this is the greatest. Well, it's not even a rebuilding job. It's just a building. You're building on ashes of what was already not that great. And Cignetti has built this team into a force. And now he gets the opportunity to prove it. In one of the toughest environments in college football, in Eugene, Oregon, in Autzen Stadium. Hopefully nobody gets mugged. I don't know how far away they are from Portland, but, you can never be too careful. I don't know the Oregon layout that much, because I've never been there. But, anyway, these two clubs, Oregon's got some explaining to do. Because they went to overtime with a Penn State team that just got rocked by UCLA. So, how good they are comes into question. It has to. You have to put stock into that. You don't break a team's will to such an extent that they go on and lose to a winless team. And Penn State has not played a very good game all year. So they are, as of right now, moderately overranked. Indiana, we saw their mettle. We saw them stuff Illinois in a locker and slam the door. I mean, good golly Moses, did they lay a beat down onto Illinois. Now, both quarterbacks are first-year starters. Well, I don't know where Mendoza came from, but Dante Moore, he did play at UCLA for a bit and then sat behind Dylan Gabriel, and now he's getting his opportunity. But 7.5. Wow. Let me ask you something. because I do like playing this game. Imagine if I came up to you in 2018 and said, well, first of all, I would say, what if I told you that Oregon was in the Big Ten? What? What's happening to the Pac-12? Yeah, it's going to be a sore subject. But not only is Oregon going to be going to the Big Ten, they're going to play a newly built Big Ten powerhouse that is Indiana, and they are ranked 7th in the country. Oh, Oregon ranked 7th in the country? Oh, that's not too bad. No, Indiana is ranked number 7 in the country. They would have thrown you in the loony bin and tossed out the key. But here we are. We are living in the wildest timeline. Now, let's see what the college football nerds model says about this game. Let's see, Indiana and Oregon. Oregon. There they are. Model me. Oh! So not only does the model vehemently disagree with Vegas, they have an 8-point game. The model believes Indiana is going to be going all over the yard. They're going to be running all over Oregon. Plus 70% over Oregon's defense in the rushing game. Now, they think Oregon's going to be running around quite a bit too, but not to the degree Indiana. I'm honestly stunned by this. And they have, because Vegas, they have 7.5, as I record this on Saturday, not on Sunday night, they have Oregon as a 7.5-point favorite. And now I don't think obviously it's not accounting for home and away. But as we all know, the running game travels very, very well. Now, let's take a look at that running game, shall we? They have all four running backs are over 200 yards on the season. I mean, I've heard of the Four Horsemen, but this ain't the WWE, or I guess Jim Crockett Promotions. But anyway, that's too far in the weeds for the average football fan who doesn't know wrestling. Nonetheless, you have Elijah Stratt, Omar Cooper, both over 400 yards receiving. But this game, I mean, it's going to come down to who can run the ball. It just as every game does. Who can run the football? Mendoza, he's only thrown 1 pick all year. Dante Moore, he has thrown, just as good, 1 pick. And they have both played very good ball clubs. Ooh, this is okay. I'm seeing where the model's coming from. Diarrhea Hill, Jaden Lamar, 270, 232. Now, granted, their rush yards are very, very good. Very good. But they're playing an Indiana team that this is the best team that they have seen so far, and I believe it is the best team that they are going to see. It is the best team that they are going to see at home. It's the best team they're going to see at home. And then they got to go to Seattle. And they got to go to Kinnick. And you Oregon fans out there, allow me to warn you as a guy who has lived in Big Ten country for 28 of my 29 years. Kinnick is a place where top 5 teams go to die. And it is, I believe, if that's in November, it's in November. That is a game that you need to circle, you need to star. I mean, you need to put this game in neon. Because Iowa in November at home, and Iowa needs to be doing something about kicking, screaming, making sure this game ain't at night. Because if this game is at night, oh, I don't care. I like this. All these stats, I do not care. I was winning that game. I don't know how they do it each and every single time, but they do it. They freaking do it. Anyway, I just went on a whole tangent on Oregon, Iowa down the road. But anyway, and for Indiana, this game, they have this game. They have to go to Happy Valley. And I know we're going to spend the next couple weeks just absolutely crapping on Penn State. And maybe Penn State has been broken. Never to be repaired again. But it is in Happy Valley nonetheless. They have to go to Maryland. Maryland is no slouch. And then they'll rock Michigan State. They'll rock UCLA. But Maryland and Penn State, they're nothing to. They are not ones to be trifled with. At least Maryland won't. We'll see what happens with Penn State. And really how far they go off the rails. Actually, well, we're on the topic. Only 900 yards. That's a problem and a half. Let's see. The next game that they have is against Northwestern. Okay, yeah. Their will is going to be absolutely shattered. At Iowa, at Ohio State. And then they got Indiana. Okay, so Indiana's going to be fine there. So, okay. So back to the task at hand. I'm actually kind of torn on this. Trying to, from a picking standpoint. I'm kind of rooting for Indiana because I do like this underdog story that Indiana's been festering over the past year and a half. But I have serious problems picking against Oregon and Autzen. And this model here, it doesn't factor in the fact that Autzen is one of the toughest places to play. Those two teams in the Pacific Northwest, there is something about that state being in that stadium that makes it very difficult to play, especially when they're good. Washington, they're still kind of rebuilding. They're still about another year away from being where Oregon, being with the Oregons, the Ohio States. They're still about a year away from that. But Indiana, I mean, this year 2 is what Cignetti's done. Year 2 is even more impressive, just because of the insane turnover. But statistically, Indiana's been so much better. And they have that huge, huge statement win, just beating the dog snot out of Illinois, and then going into Kinnick and winning. And again, that is no easy feat. So, oh my gosh. I would go with Indiana. Just that way you have that 7-point safety net. But golly Moses, I do not like. The ESPN analytics say 30.5% to Oregon's 69. Nice. And a half. Gosh, I don't know who to pick. I truly don't know who to pick. I'd have to lean Indiana with the points. Give me those Give me the points, because I don't think this game is gonna be thrown out of reach. And we all know Dan Lanning. He drops one. He drops a big one every single year, and this may very well be the one that he drops. Um, let's see. Who did it? Let's see what Illinois went, or Oregon went undefeated last year, but they got smoked. They got smoked in the Rose Bowl. They dropped the one to Washington twice. Okay, so they dropped it to Washington twice last year, or a couple years ago. But I mean, could this be that big game that Dan Lanning drops and then just wallops everybody else the rest of the way? Gosh, I don't. When was the last time they lost at home? Let's see. That was at Washington. That game was in a neutral site. So that wasn't in Eugene. We gotta go to 2022. See, that was a neutral site. That was in Autzen. The last game. That was. What was? Okay, that was at Oregon State. So the last game that they lost was to Washington in 2022. So can Indiana do what nobody has done since this was the national champion? Was this the national title team? Yeah. No, it was not. It was not. But they had all the makings in Kalen DeBoer. So, I don't know. I think Cignetti a better coach than Kalen DeBoer. I think this team is very similar talent-wise to Washington. Screw it. Indiana wins it. I've talked myself into it. Indiana is going to go into Autzen and beat the Ducks, giving the Ducks their first home loss since Washington in 2022. There you have it. I trust this model. I trust it. So I'm going to roll with it. Give me the Hoosiers. Give me the Hoosiers over the Ducks in Autzen. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. And we will see you in the next one.